Welcome to the Supporting Chaos podcast. I'm Sammy.
Sorry I'm late.
Of course you are.
Sorry I'm late.
What's on your shirt?
Could be throw up.
I think I have a stain remover. I think this is yours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have wipes. That'll do. Oh my gosh, guess what?
Let's hit record first. Welcome to the Supporting Chaos podcast. I am Sammy.
And I'm Gracie.
And we are going to debrief from a trip where we had 18 content creators in one house. It was wild, but first, the last 10 days has been literally nuts.
Insane.
And we haven't even talked about why you were in my dryer on Saturday. Like, we haven't even talked about the weekend at all.
Okay, I'm elite. Like, the best, better than anybody else at hide and go seek.
My house is really good for hide and seek.
Yes. Okay, so, nobody could find me. But then as I'm crawling out of the dryer, I realize that probably wasn't
Now my
best
kids are
parenting moment. And I sat them all down and I was like, okay, nobody else ever hide in the dryer, because all of a sudden I'm picturing toddlers like, help, help, help. I'm like, oh my gosh. Even one girl DM'd us and she was like, I'm not trying to be a Karen, but and I was like, honestly, you're not being a Karen. You were spot on.
That's a good
I was like, yeah, I'm glad you said something because it's a good point.
It was just such a weird picture because it was like filtered coming. It looked like you were like in an airplane or something. Like, I was like, why is she trying to make the dryer look aesthetic? My laundry room is gross. It has like mold in it.
I was just showing them how good I am at hide and seek, and nobody could find me. I had to come out of the dryer myself. So it's been a crazy. Well, I know she wants to talk about it, so let's let her talk about it. Go.
Guys, in case you didn't know, I went to the Kendrick Lamar concert.
With a bunch of girls 10 years younger than her.
10 years younger.
I was proud of her for doing that, though.
It was honestly so fun. So number 5 on our tattoo, who's our youngest sister, technically cousin, she's a sister cousin. We won't get into that. But she brought 4 of her friends up, and we went to the Kendrick Lamar concert. But so let's even go back. The last 10 days, we went to St. George, Utah one weekend. We came back. I actually had a procedure. I had doctor's appointments on Wednesdays, procedure on Thursday. You had to be my ride for my emergency contact for my
They
surgery.
call me and they're like, hey, are you in the waiting room? I'm like, wait, no, am I supposed to be there already?
She shows up on an empty gas tank.
You said 11:30, okay? And so I was going to be there at 11:30 and get gas on my way.
The comedic relief is always there.
But when is a medical place ever early?
Never. That wasn't fair, but still.
Thank you.
It was pretty classic.
I did show up without gas, but you know what? We made it back.
So then, so that was Thursday. So then Friday, we had all these 26-year-olds at our house.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday, I guess it was Saturday.
They're the cutest 26-year-olds in the world, too.
But
they're the best.
It was just such a reminder. So we moved to Charlotte a year ago, and why we moved to Charlotte. Because Gracie's whole fam is there. My other sister brought her baby over at some point, hung out, and we had 5 26-year-olds staying at our house. When I left for the concert, you guys hung out. Did Mario leave?
Yeah, I wasn't really supposed to babysit, and then all of a sudden I realized I'm babysitting.
And you're in my dryer.
Yes. Well, so my husband and Mario, they had a neighbor who was having a party, and they're like, we're just gonna go over there for a little bit, and I'm like, okay, seconds after you leave, and I'm like, okay, and then it's 7:45, and I'm like, it's my kid's bedtime, Mario. You gotta come back. And he's like, oh yeah. We're just having fun.
Yeah, he had me go over there first, and I will tell you what a different vibe switch from going to our neighborhood cul-de-sac party where I love our neighbors, but they're all a lot older than us.
Yeah.
And then going to a Kendrick Lamar concert with people 10 years younger than me.
It is a different vibe. And both of our husbands are really big extroverts.
Social.
Yeah, too social. I mean, my husband did have to borrow her husband's shoes to go to the party.
Yeah.
Because he didn't bring any shoes over.
Mario's leaving for Chicago. He's like, yeah, Justin never dropped off my shoes. I'm like, well, why did Justin have your shoes? He's like, he had to go over to the neighbor's house. And I told him he had to wear shoes. So he borrowed mine and then took my shoes off.
It's just also both of them going together. And they're just going to pop over for a minute and end up staying for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
that was crazy. It was also just pouring rain. It just felt like a weird day.
Yeah.
But then we were at the Kendrick Lamar and SZA concert. That's how you say it, SZA, just in case you were wondering. It was awesome.
Sounds awesome.
It was awesome. It was also funny, though, because I've been to a lot of concerts with my cousin Annabelle, who's a Gen Zer, very cool. But it's funny because we're always there for the different person. So, way back when, we went to Britney Spears and Nicki Minaj. Which I love Nicki Minaj now, but at the time, I was pumped about Britney.
Yeah.
She was pumped about Nicki Minaj. We're at Kendrick Lamar. I'm pumped about Kendrick Lamar. all the Gen Zers are pumped about SZA.
Yeah.
So we were talking, though, how sad it will be at some point when they stop catering to millennials. Because right now they're doing
They're
that on
still doing
purpose.
it. Yeah. I
But
also think too, just this is such a random side note, but I'm just gonna say it. So my little cousin, our little cousin who's
number 5.
number 5, 10 years younger, her and Sammy are really good friends. And they're basically siblings and they're 10 years apart. So like, I don't know, I just like to throw that out sometimes because people get so
Well,
nervous about age gaps.
We're pretty similar. And that's what I always say is the most important thing is like, I feel like the age gap people really stress out about, but there is a difference in just being like a sibling versus like a best friend too.
Mhm.
And you could be 1 year apart or 15 years apart.
Yeah.
But if you click as friends, then it's just like an extra layer.
Yeah. Age gaps don't matter.
I
I,
mean,
don't
the
know why I
best-
needed to go on that tangent, but I just needed to make that point.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing so I was talking to my aunt on the phone one time and she was like, "Yeah, Annabelle, she I can't even remember what it was. Like sometimes she's so smart and then sometimes she's just a ding dong. She kind of reminds me of you." And
Well,
that
thank you.
and I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." So we're like the ding dongs together, but it was really fun. I got a Coca-Cola and had to make old person jokes like, "Do you want some Coke?"
We
That
got
had
a
to
really good
happen.
video of her shotgunning and throwing it over her shoulder while the rest of the gang shotgunned.
I felt cool. It was
It
just
was
so
cool.
fun. I feel like live music, especially after COVID, is something that and like when you have babies, you just don't go to live music. Like the
Yeah.
last show I went to before this was Wildcrats.
Yeah.
Like it's just so good to see
It's
like
fun to,
live
like,
music.
Remember what it's like.
Yeah, it was really fun. All right, should we dive in?
Yes, let's debrief the Utah trip.
Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. So, what were your first?
Why is she wearing a Vegas sweatshirt?
Why is she wearing a Vegas sweatshirt? That will be part of the story.
It is.
So, when we got the DM about going on the trip, what were your first thoughts?
Are you sure you guys want us to go?
Who canceled?
Yeah. Who canceled?
You don't have anyone else better?
I don't know. What were your first thoughts?
I was excited.
Yeah.
I feel like we have such a security blanket with each other, too.
I can't believe people did this without going with somebody.
Yeah.
I would have been so nervous.
Because there was 18 girls. Some of them, I guess, had met before, like a handful of them. Some of them had met, like, but nobody, like, knew everyone.
Yeah.
So I feel like at first, I've never met anyone else really who's done content creation besides us.
Yeah. On the way there, we were like thinking of creating this video, and Sammy was like, "Is it weird asking them?" Like, no, everyone does this. This is what
Yeah.
everyone does. So
I think we had no experience with this type of stuff.
we learned a lot.
We learned a lot. So, okay. So then we can talk about how you got your Vegas sweatshirt. So
Yeah.
on the way, we were like, of course, a little late to the airport. We were fine. We end up flying to Scottsdale or Phoenix. We fly to Phoenix. We sprint to the plane. I had to stop and get a
She
water
had to stop
bottle.
and get a freaking water bottle.
It wasn't why we missed it, but honestly,
We had a 30-minute connection.
I was so thirsty. That water bottle was worth it.
We're like sprinting through the airport.
Literally sprinting.
She has to stop and get a water bottle.
like 20 feet
wouldn't-
ahead of me.
I'll give it to you. We still wouldn't have made it regardless of the
I was
water.
freaked out. I was like, if it was because of the water bottle, she's gonna kill me.
But then we get there, and the lady's like, "Yeah, you missed your flight." And we're like, "Okay, when's the next one?" And she's like, 3 hours later, which the time zones really get me. But it would have had us like arriving in Utah at like 1:30.
Yeah.
So then we pivoted
And went to Vegas.
to Vegas. Hence the Vegas sweatshirt.
So we end up in Vegas, and honestly, at this point, we're just like, hey, we're traveling solo without our kids. Like, we're together, we're giggling. Like, let's just have fun with it. We like really did have fun. But then we get to Vegas, and somehow our bags are in Dallas. They never even made it to Phoenix.
Like, I'm also not good at geography, but how does that make sense?
yeah.
It doesn't. So we got these really cool sweatshirts in the Las Vegas airport. We did ask the lady if they sold any underwear or like anything.
It was buy one, get one 50% off, too.
Yes.
So
And we did do a little gambling.
we did do a
But we
little
lost all
slots.
of that.
Oh, that was probably the best line too. Is we're like playing slots, and I was like, I'm feeling lucky.
I was like, what part of this? Our luggage is lost. We missed our connection, and now we're in Vegas where we have to take a 2-hour Uber. What part of this is lucky?
I was like, we were just having fun.
It was fun.
We were cracking up. But I do feel like it was funny of everything when we lost our bags. That was the first time I think I got a little bit nervous
Yeah.
because I'm going to see all these like people I've only seen on social media. I wasn't really planning to show up like without any
Without
of my
any clothes.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
We had to like Instacart like toothbrushes and everything
Yeah.
like that. But after Vegas, we met my man Edgar. Edgar is my best friend. We have been in contact ever since. Our Uber driver.
So we get to Vegas.
Yeah.
So from Vegas, we have to Uber to St. George, which was, not close. We had to cross 2 state
Yeah.
lines. So this is where Edgar comes in.
This is where Edgar comes in. We get in the car and he's like, "Oh, that's a long way away. I have to go through 2 states." And we're like, "Sorry, please." He's like,
I mean,
"You know
I
what?
was
It's
like,
fine."
we were also like, if you don't want to, we get it. And
Yeah.
he was like, no one else will take you, so I have to.
Yeah, he's
so nice.
genuinely the sweetest guy.
Mhm.
And then we had a great Uber on the way there. When I realized the next morning that I left I forgot to talk about, I was bragging about how I got a wallet.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm very type B, and I was bragging because I normally always lose my ID and my debit card and everything, and so I was bragging to Sammy that I finally got a wallet for this trip. Sure enough, I leave the wallet in the Uber that, goes back to Vegas. So we realized that. But then Edgar, I love you if you're watching this, my man, he overnighted it to Utah. It did not get there in time. And then it went sent back to him, and then he sent it back to me in Charlotte.
Edgar, we love you.
He was so sweet.
He's a very, very nice guy.
He was. So that's how we got there.
Yes.
And I think when we walked in, we were just like, that's when we were starting
We were
to crash.
so tired too because it was like a 4.5-hour flight just to Phoenix. It was a long day.
And it's like later there, like it was like 10:30, but it felt like.
And they were all like a lot of them were up and like you kind of felt like you had to like show up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was like, let's make a good first impression. But it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted.
But then we had to like wake up and meet everyone because in the morning we met everyone and literally like our Vegas sweatshirt, like
We also
no
had-
stuff,
You
you
just
know?
had no idea what you were coming into. You didn't know if it was going to be like a party scene or like everyone was going to be asleep or like
I
people.
mean, these are literally strangers on the internet.
Yeah,
that
you
just
had no idea. So it was intimidating, but
like if my kids were like, "Hey, I'm gonna go stay in this house with 16 people I don't know," I would be like, "No, you're not.
no, you're not. You're absolutely not.
No, you're not."
But it was amazing.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I just didn't know if they were gonna be like, I don't know, are they gonna be fake? Are they gonna be
Yeah.
different than they were on social media?
I was so surprised how everyone's personalities was like, yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
Like it like made sense. And it was kind of refreshing too, because I do think like, why is that an initial thought that everyone was going to be, could be fake? Because it's just social media.
Yeah. I also feel like so there was 18 of us total, like we count as one kind of, but there's 18 of us, but everyone has there was a couple that were like more educational platforms.
Mhm.
Everyone had very different kind of content, but it was more like relatable mom
Yeah.
type of stuff versus like the traditional influencer.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that also helps.
Yeah.
Not that you're fake either way, but everyone was very down to earth.
Even though too, like some of our content was different. Like I don't know, just can't, since we were there last, we got put in this
Obviously.
bunk room with Andrea, who I'm obsessed with.
She's so sweet.
And she makes very different content than us, but it was just like so cool that like we just
Oh, we showed up. I'd already stalked her stuff. I'm like, okay, so she's a therapist. I'm like, I got some questions for you.
Yeah.
I was like,
she's
getting
like,
free
whenever
therapy
you have
for
a free
my kids.
second, if you want to talk, I have some questions.
As soon as I like walk up,
You
she's like,
creep.
who the heck did I room with? Yeah. But everyone was very just genuine and, like different. But I feel like, so, okay, I've gonna just go ahead and say it. So I've been explaining it like the Hunger Games. Like that's how I felt day one when we were kind of there.
Yes.
So the Hunger Games where you have all the districts. Because every person, like I called them the careers, and the careers were just like really good content creators.
Yeah. And I think, one thing I feel like people don't realize about being a content creator, I cannot say the word influencer. Like I can't. But it is work.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna scream it from like the top of a building. Like it is a lot of work. And so I think too, some of it is more natural to some people. Like they're constantly like thinking about it.
Well, I feel like it was more that people have different goals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there were people who are full-time content creators. Like this was like a full-time job for them. There's people who have full-time jobs alongside their content creators.
Yeah.
There are people who just have no plan and wing shit, and that was us. So I felt like it was kind of like a spectrum
Yeah.
of different like people, but we were, if this was it, we were District 12. We were Katniss. We were the bad district. We were the poor one, like the bad content creators.
Yeah. But we had like in our district, we had like a coal mine or something because we're like for some reason the only ones that do this like Amazon Live thing, and everyone was like, "Oh, we want to learn about it." I'm like, "Wow, we have something to talk about."
Oh yeah. Oh, would you say coal mine?
Yeah,
Oh,
like they
coal-
want something from our district.
So the coal mine. Oh, the coal mine actually just reminded me of our room because it was like everyone would walk up to our room and it just like clothes everywhere. I'm like, yeah. The careers didn't have their suitcases everywhere and clothes everywhere.
No, it was very apparent who was type A and who was type B and who is, I mean, I think what you said is like perfect. Like some people really, really look at it. It's a career and it is. I don't know why we don't look at it that way.
I mean, I do think that's the thing about content, like being a content creator that people don't understand is you don't just get paid, like you get paid on Instagram like nothing, like pennies. Like you don't really get paid from just making videos. So a lot of the time, if you just make videos, engage with your social media, you're not making any money. It's free. I mean, we would do this for free. We've done it for free a lot of times in our life because we love it so much. But there's nothing wrong with also when you spend as much time on it. Like it's a full-time job of also.
Well, and to make more money, you have to put in the strategy. You have to really focus on your engagement, which is a lot of work to like message everybody and like all of that stuff. You have to focus on showing yourself to brands and getting like it's a lot that goes into it besides just like, oh my gosh, let's take a video. And I feel like a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah. And everyone was like, so what's your content plan with two of you? How do you guys do that? We're like, So we learned a lot. And so I just want to thank everyone for letting us come along because they were probably like, what a hot messes. But that's why it was so cool though is, okay, I'm joking that we were all in districts, but just like in the Hunger Games, they all come together at the end to defeat the Capitol.
Yeah. It's not like it was catty at all, but it was different districts.
There was no fighting, but it was cool. Like at the end, we all came together and like still we have this group chat going off. Like no one is gatekeeping anything. Like everyone has just been so supportive and it was really cool because I think like community is something that's so important in motherhood and all these things and like having a village. And even though being a content creator, we kind of cheat because we have each other. But besides that, you really don't have anyone else to talk to about it.
Yeah.
And not that we're asking like boo-hoo, but it's just a very weird thing.
I mean, like I think about when I was teaching and I had like, it wasn't as lonely because I had all my teacher friends.
Yeah.
You know, like you could compare and say, we are doing it together, which makes it not so lonely.
Yeah.
But you are working by yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we learned so much. And that part was really cool is there wasn't like every single girl on that trip like wanted to share their tips. Like if you asked them a question, they were like pumped to talk about it. Like people are talking brand deals, the bad
sharing
brands.
emails to like get like one of our friends, Anna, she's moving in. She just moved into a new apartment, but like she was like, does anybody have any people, reaching about furniture stuff? Like I need a couch. And so we were like sharing emails and all that stuff. And everyone was just so genuine. Like, let's fill each other's cup. Like there's room for all of us and let's like do it as a team. And it was so refreshing to see.
And still is like the group chat is still going. And I definitely didn't think that like I was very shocked that all 18 girls are like that. Like, there
Yeah.
wasn't one person who's like, "Oh, I don't want her in my video." Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't catty. It was, again, like, everyone, different content, different goals, different things, but everyone came together, I feel like, so seamlessly.
Yeah.
Which was really
It
cool.
was really cool.
I feel like, and I guess I forgot about this part earlier, but the biggest thing that I felt like when I was first showing up too was just this imposter syndrome.
Yeah, like when I was like, my first thought was like, are you sure?
Like, this was wild,
Yeah.
you know? But I feel like that's so fun to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. And you can just get so into the routine and the mundane of like motherhood and just like life. It was a really good reminder of like pushing yourself
You get
outside of
out
your
there.
comfort zone.
And I feel like a lot of times too, ever since becoming a mom, I'm just gonna be honest, I have used my kids a lot as like a, and because I'm tired, but like as an excuse not to do something.
Yeah, I was like, if she tells me her kids are sick, I'm making her ass come.
There was a point where she might have not come. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still going to do it. And I
Yeah.
was proud of myself for
Yeah.
like still doing it, even though you weren't going to come, which I'm so glad you came. I don't know, it was kind of intimidating to
It was
like,
very intimidating.
I hope they like me, you know?
Yeah, and like everyone has a big personality. They have a social media, but it was also, this is not related, but everyone had just very interesting stories. Like there was a lot
was
of people with
weird.
traumatic. Like we have a very traumatic story upbringing, and I will say there's not a lot of people who I can talk to that can like relate or like, not that it's a competition, like hold a candle to our story. It was pretty wild to be in a room of people who've had such similar childhood events.
Like everybody had
And
a
there's-
traumatic situation, besides Annalise.
Yes, times Annalise.
She goes, well, I'm realizing I never really had a lot of trauma. She's the sweetest person ever.
The most trauma I had is when like Bush won the, or someone, Al Gore, someone
won the election and her mom
cried in the closet.
My mom cried in the closet.
It was so funny. But I do think like we were having conversations, deep conversations, which really helps you like connect to people faster.
Yeah.
So therapists, let us know what you think. But there is some correlation, I swear, to like trauma, narcissist, and content creating.
Yeah. There's got to be a connection, or else this is just a weird situation.
It was wild. But I do feel like it was a really good reminder to put, like, try to do more things that make you feel alive. That
And I think it's like even like how we were kind of nervous going into it. I think that's how it always goes. Like I'm always like, "Ugh, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And then when I go, I show up. I have fun. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so glad I went.
yes,
And I think
we do that all the time. Like we never want to go, and then whenever we go to whatever it is, we're always happy that we did.
yeah. And I think like motherhood is so isolating. It can be so lonely.
You
And
just have so much on your plate. It's like everything is like a cost benefit analysis was the thing, or you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Every single thing, it's like, well, I have so much laundry to do. Like you always are.
Your cup's already overflowing, so adding some more in there seems like, oh my gosh, when actually your cup does need you to recognize that you need to be a little social
the
too.
cup analogy didn't work because it's already overflowing.
Well, then I took a sip, and then I put some water back in, okay?
Your cup's kind of draining.
All
I
right,
knew where
you
you
know
were
what?
going, but it
It's
just
gonna be,
didn't
I
connect.
put a sponge in my cup. I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
I got what you were saying.
Um,
But I feel like, and I always think about imposter syndrome, and I mean, I remember feeling imposter syndrome when I was working in commercial real estate of like, why are these people listening to me? Like when I was a manager, you know, like, but I do always think about imposter. I definitely feel it in social media because I'm just like, what?
yeah.
But I also feel like it in motherhood too, a lot of times. And I think like I've really tried to like shift my brain. Shift is whatever I got me, so I'm gonna use it there. Try to shift like my perspective on imposter syndrome as like it's a good thing. Because if you're having imposter syndrome, then that means that you're doing something that's challenging you. You're
Yeah.
not complacent, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have imposter syndrome and you still do it, then that's how you're gonna grow and learn and like challenging yourself,
Yeah, I never thought about it like a positive thing.
right?
Yeah, that is an interesting point because I always think of like, don't have imposter syndrome. You don't need to be comparing yourself. Like, you don't, when it's not like imposter syndrome isn't really comparing yourself. It's like, I need to work on myself a little bit more.
Yeah, I just feel like if you recognize that you're feeling insecure, maybe because you have imposter syndrome of like whatever it is, then kind of just shift and be like, well, that means that I'm like bettering myself. I'm growing. I'm not staying complacent. I'm doing things outside of my comfort
Or
zone.
like I'm recognizing where I need to grow.
Yeah. And you're
That's a
doing
good
it
point. I
anyways.
never thought about that.
Like doing it scared. I don't know. I just felt like it was just a really cool experience.
So like we just gonna make another random point here. We have talked about like a village, and obviously we have a village, and we know that so many people don't have a village, and a lot of people, don't have a lot of family around and whatnot. But we were talking about villages the other day, and like your friends can also be a part of your village.
Mhm.
Like you can build your own village. Your village does not have to be blood in order for it to be a village. And even though like not like a motherhood village, we kind of made a career village that we needed to like
Yeah.
learn things and help grow and whatnot. So I think like the biggest like takeaway is just putting yourself out there and trying to find those connections. Like what if it becomes your village?
Mhm.
And like
I think that's so true. Like I feel like making friends and like as adults is sometimes weird,
so hard.
but you do have to kind of make the effort and put yourself out there to create your village in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And also like be a villager for other people too. I know there's a TikTok somewhere out there that's like everyone wants a village, not everyone wants to be a villager.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's super important too, is like engage in the conversation, help each other out. And you do have to somewhat seek it, which is hard work at the beginning, but then it pours into your cup.
Yes.
Back to the cup.
Yeah, okay. The cup analogy wasn't great, but yes.
But I did feel like it really inspired me. And it really was just such an amazing group of girls. I think if you follow them, they're exactly what they seem. I feel like they're almost even better in real life.
They are better in real life.
Not that they're not good on social media, but I was expecting.
They're obviously all better than us. So.
Yeah, I was expecting. I don't know. You're like social media is a highlight reel.
Yeah, I was expecting somebody to like not. But once again, I think so. Caitlin is who organized the whole trip, and she did such a good job of picking people that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
That are.
I think it says definitely
honest.
A lot about honestly Caitlin.
Yeah. Oh
that
yeah.
she pulled the group
two
together because it was just a really awesome group.
And an awesome house.
Awesome house. Yes, the beachfront. We'll tag it.
Yeah, we'll tag it in this episode.
In Utah, it was cool. We went to Swig. Oh, we also Dan the man who was our IV guy.
Oh, this is wild.
The Ruby Frankie stuff, which is just obviously so terrible, but he was the nurse in the jail for her and Jody Hildebrandt. He had some wild stories.
Yeah, like talking about how like
apparently so I have really bad veins. Like it's hard to get an IV in, and apparently she has bad veins too. So I hope that's the only thing I ever have in common with Ruby Frankie.
I really hope so too.
She did say her veins were worse than mine.
Yes, of course they were.
But apparently they're just as awful as they seem.
Well, yeah, even like he just was saying like she still has like no accountability or anything like that, and it just awful. But that was cool. It was cool to hear the story, I'm not going to lie.
That was very cool. I feel like the other thing, real quick, and then we have like the fun game, is it was such a reminder with like women and friendships too, that there's room for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved the supporting moms vibe, especially like being on the internet, which all of us are. You can have such like negative comments and people just say terrible things behind a computer screen.
Terrible things.
But the vibes were so supportive, and just like I know for me, I feel like my friendships are something that I've taken a backseat a lot, in especially my early stages of motherhood,
which I feel like is so normal.
And now that I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, it really was a reminder that I need to like pour into those more, because it made me feel alive. Like there's nothing like being with girls.
It fills your cup up a little bit.
It fills the cup.
It fills your overflowing cup.
It runneth or whatever. Okay, so you want to do something fun?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
We're gonna play a game.
Here you go, you teacher. Got this from Walmart delivery this morning because I knew you were gonna forget it. My 4-year-old added stickers to this last night, and I was too lazy to take them off. So there's that. Okay, let's do it.
We're gonna explain it.
Yes. So We're gonna almost do like superlatives. Why couldn't I say that word? Oh, because we're from South Carolina.
Superlative.
Superlatives. Before we do the superlatives though, what was your best moment of the trip?
I think the last day when everyone was just like sitting on the beach. Everyone had already kind of made content, so we were kind of over it, and everyone was just sitting on the beach, like having the most genuine conversations. At that point, we like knew each other, and like the conversations were just flowing. And I remember, not to get too sentimental, but I remember having a moment of being like, "Oh, we're gonna be friends after this."
Yeah, that was the one part I wasn't part of. So just kidding.
Oh yeah, you were asleep.
I'm just
yeah, you
joking.
were there.
No, keep going.
Well, I wish you were there because it was a great moment.
No, but I get it because I had moments like that too. Where like, yeah,
Even like in the pool and the jacuzzi
Yes.
afterwards, like it was the like awkward introductions were kind of like over, and it was like, no, we're like a friend group.
yeah. I feel like maybe because we all post online, which is very vulnerable. Like everyone wasn't scared to just like be
Tell their
like
story.
we were crying over people's stories. We were saying we were proud of you. Like
Yeah.
just getting goosebumps right now, even thinking about Anna, who's like life with Anna is like the sweetest human and just like so gorgeous
Amazing.
inside and out. But yeah, okay. Well, my best moment of the trip is something I have been waiting for. How old are you? 31? No, but 18. Do that math. A long time is when you admitted to me that you regret your tattoo.
I love my tattoo. I would do it all over again.
She's never told me. So when she was 16, she got a tattoo at a party.
Bad to the bone.
A tattoo artist.
It wasn't a tattoo. Okay, it was freaking sketchy, and it wasn't my best choice. If my daughter ever did it, I would murder her. But
So you were like
I
16
was 16.
and I was 21. And she takes me to Bagel Nation and she says, I did something, but you can't be mad.
And she got mad.
And I got mad. But you know what? I learned so much about parenting in those moments because now I handle that so differently.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it was a big moment in my life because I'm like, you could get like STDs. You can't just get a tattoo at a party. And she never admitted to me, and that was awesome. So, all right, I got to move on. Okay.
All right.
So we're going to do superlatives. So you are going to write the name down, whoever I say. Okay, so first is the funniest.
The funniest.
Mm-hmm. We don't care about spelling, too. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh!
They're both
I
funny.
could see that, too.
I feel like Annalise is like just so naturally like not she
Yeah.
doesn't not like joke funny.
Her, like, demeanors and everything are, like, yeah.
Yeah, Rachel's also we like
Rachel is
love.
exactly who she is, like, online. Like, she just, like her, like, she's,
I
like,
feel like we,
unfiltered in a beautiful way.
Knew her. Yeah, like as soon as we met her. She like literally walked in and I was still in bed. I was like, "Oh, hey Rachel, I don't have a shirt on." That's how I met her.
And she was like, do you still want a hug?
Yeah. Okay. This one is most likely to take shots.
We both have the same answer.
This one's easy. I'm sure it's the same. Life of the party, Maddie.
And that actually was one shocker. I knew she was like a fun, but she is
I
the
love
life
Maddie.
of the party.
I mean, I feel like we're just gonna be. She was definitely like we're gonna be best friends forever.
She's great.
We love you, Maddie.
We love you, Maddie.
Okay, most type B.
Can I use myself?
Yes, you can. Wow, we're crushing it. Okay, most type A.
Oh, I got this one.
Wow, we're like really on this. Okay, we've gotten one different, right?
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Paige was very concerned about your wallet.
I know. Poor thing. I probably gave her a heart
I
attack.
know.
But I love her. We got time.
Who was the content queen on the trip?
That's hard.
You just gotta go fast. First reaction.
Oh.
You're trying to cheat.
Oh.
You like how I got these from Walmart because I knew that you wouldn't bring them.
Show me how to spell her name.
You're gonna say
Okay,
Meg.
Meg.
You think? Oh, really? I thought Katie.
Meg was just like on it. Like if you
Really?
said, "Hey, take a video," like, and she took a lot of videos herself. Just like she was like, I look over and she's
She's
like,
an
quiet.
actress. That's why.
Yeah, I look over and she's like quiet. Like I'm like, did you just do a video? And she's
Mm.
like, yeah. I'm like, what?
I think that's one thing we learned.
Yeah.
Like they were just effortlessly taking content in posting content, we're just not good at it.
Yeah.
Like, bestie vibes after one conversation. There's, like, a lot of people. I'm going to put one person, but I literally feel like I could put everyone.
I'm putting 2 people because I can't choose. It's so funny.
I would have, I mean, yeah, all of them. I mean, that's a really hard one. I guess, like, one conversation, I feel like as soon as she walked into the room when I was in there with a shirt on. Good morning, Rachel.
I feel like I had the deepest, like, with Annalise and Anna, we got deep.
Yeah.
And so that's,
I feel that way,
yeah.
too. I guess I was thinking it more of, like, in the first, like...
Initial
yeah.
second, yeah.
Most likely to have a good story.
Oh.
She didn't look at this before. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Meg was, like, added to the story. Then she's like, so then I was skydiving in Australia.
That's so true.
And, like, all the places, yeah. But Sam's another good one.
Sam, like, she just, like, when you talked to her, she just made you feel like you were the most
Yes.
important person in the room.
Mhm.
And, like, I loved that vibe.
And she invited herself on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, she's coming on.
So she has to come. She's like, oh my gosh, I invited myself. I'm like, we would love you to come. Most likely to have one-on-ones with everyone in the group. See, you took my person.
Oh.
That's what I was thinking. You're in the same
That is
page.
true.
Also, Caitlin. I had a one-on-one with Caitlin.
It was great.
Another one-on-one that I loved was I had a one-on-one drinking coffee with Cassie, which was, she's so sweet. And I learned so much about Mormon, which was, like, very interesting.
Yes, all the Mormon stuff was very
This is just so hard because there's so many people.
Yeah.
Okay, the sweetest. This is hard. I mean, everyone was sweet.
I'm going to pick this one because I already said Annalise 1,000 times.
Oh, that's a good one. Sarah's so sweet. Like,
those ones are all so
Anna,
sweet,
like,
too. Like,
I mean, everyone was so sweet. Most likely to forget to film content. This one's probably pretty obvious. Most likely to model.
oh, we all know that answer.
I'm gonna say I got 3. I mean, truly everyone.
Yeah.
I freaking love Melissa.
Yeah.
I have her necklace on too. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
cute one, this little like snake. Wait. She gave these to all of us. She is just like, I love her. And Chelsea.
We'll tag her jewelry brand too.
And
It's the
Anna.
best stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like everybody is so sweet. Sarah's super sweet. That was a good one. Big sister vibes. Besides me, obviously. Ow. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Those are our roomies.
Those are our roomies.
Gracie was
Both of our roomies.
surrounded by big
I
sisters.
loved our roomies.
Which was also probably good because
All right, how many questions do we have? I just checked on this.
we can be pretty good. I did. Oh yeah, we're done. I did turn off your straightener the night that we went out.
Oh, good job.
And Annalise made a video like, "What if I left the straightener on?" And I was like, Gracie did, but I turned it off. Okay, the
Overall,
other people
everyone's
I had
vibe.
is who had like the most outrageous inside jokes. I put Andrea.
Yeah.
The person who could DIY anything would be Casey.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she's one of those people who just, like, can do
anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
And, like, would do it for you,
Yeah.
too. Like, she's very genuine, like, wants to help.
Yeah.
Like,
I heard her so many times be like, okay, how can I help you? What do you want? Like, I can help do that. I can help. I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
Like, she told me she would help me figure out, like, the layout to decorate my room. And I know that I, like, could text her and she would. Who won? This is the last one. We'll end good. Who won the 2 truths and a lie? I can't tell you what they were, obviously. Yeah, if you looked at the questions before, this would be a lot easier.
Oh, shit.
But you know what? This is on brand.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we got.
Thanks for
Look at
hanging.
us.
And
Shout out to Walmart Delivery for getting these here in time.
shout out to Edgar for getting us to Utah.
Yes. All right.
Bye.